Asivam sir, united under Tamil Shiva.
Yeah, alaikum assalam. Sorry, Haider. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was in the kitchen. It's bad reception over there. Yeah.
Ah,
So I see the titles. Yeah, we got mashallah also our brother General in the audience. So it's an interesting discussion. Yeah, so could you give me a background? Quran is exposed again on some second coming of Jesus. Interesting. So I saw that you had a similar room, I think about 3 days ago. So do you want to give us some background?
yeah. See, Bhadi, if you read yeah, most of this Quran alone, Quran is people like Moha, Bernie, Iron Man, I think General also, and Nazia, Nouri. These people are all out to destroy the Quran. And one of the topic is that they have come across. They have made a number of lists, but one of the topic it says that Jesus is not coming. But if you read the Quran, it's clearly mentioned that he is going to come. Like for example, in chapter 4, verse 157, if you read it, and up till 59, it talks about three timeline. One where Jesus is, Allah says that they did not kill him, nor they crucified him. It made to appear to them, and Allah took him to Himself. Means he is in right now. He is in heaven, and these people, the black Israelites who persecuted Jesus Christ, they are following assumption, and this assumption will end before the death of Jesus Christ. So that means right now till today, the Christian world, the black Israelites, they are following assumption only regarding the topic of Mother Mary. They are slandering Mother Mary and Jesus. They are still following the same concept. Now they will get back to the correct part only before the death of Jesus Christ. This is what the Quran says. And how that will happen when he is going to come back again. That time, these people who are following assumption regarding Jesus and Mother Mary, they will rectify. That is before his death. And the third timeline is on the day of resurrection, those who persecuted Jesus Christ, the black Israelites, they will be, Jesus Christ will give witness against them. Now you tell me, when the verses of the Quran is so clear, still these Quran alone people are marketing the fake ideology that Jesus is not coming. So what is their agenda actually?
Interesting point. Yeah, so obviously General was in the audience. Yeah, in this particular issue, obviously, the what's called Quranist and Quran alone, there is a slight difference. They argue between them, but they've got a common ground here in the sense that they both, in my opinion, falsely reject the coming of Isa. And you've obviously highlighted one of the set of verses. So Nisa 157 to 159. So if somebody just looks at the grammar of the verses, they talk about a past event prior to the Quran, and second. So in 157, that's a prior event. It's all in the past tense. And then the next verse, 158, again past tense, but Allah raised him upon him, to him rather. And the third ayah in that list that you got up there, 159, and it's a future tense. So this is post Quran, not pre Quran. So it's very clear. And that one in post Quran, it's actually using the word death before his death. So you're absolutely right. The question is why some of the brothers add that what's called Quran only and Quranist. They reject this concept, and so that's how obviously I've been pleading with them on this issue. And this is not the only set of ayat. There's lots of other ayat that prove the same thing from the Quran, that the Messiah will come back. Now, the hopefully there isn't an agenda. Maybe it's just ignorance. We all suffer from a bit of ignorance. And I hope there is no agenda in the sense that some people want to twist the Quran. So I understand the point, but generally it would be great if General comes up and shows us why So I've had this discussion obviously with them for a while. On the surface, I don't go deep on it, but I also, like you, believe that they've got it wrong, completely wrong. But whether there's an agenda or it's ignorance is the question. I believe maybe in some cases there are some people who don't want to, let's say, view the Quran to have any kind of traditional background. That may be the case for some people. So they rebel against anything traditional. And so even if the Quran says it directly or doesn't say it, they will try to conclude otherwise. That's maybe what that would be an agenda. But whether there is an agenda, I'm not sure. I personally believe it's just lack of attention. So I try to give the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, I would love to hear from General as an example why he, for example, maybe he does accept the Messiah coming. Because I think this is very clear from the Quran, as Brother Haidar Ali highlighted. If you read just those set of verses and just focus on the tense, past tense, present tense, future tense, this makes it exceptionally clear. But anyway, yeah, I don't wanna.
And regarding Mahdi, this actually this is there is an agenda actually, because see how previous book got distorted. First they attacked the language, then they brought some fake ideology, school of thought, and all that, and finally they distort the holy book. So this is actually the system how the previous book got distorted. And now you see if the Farsi, the Urdu language is alive in our country, like in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. In Madrasa, Urdu, Arabic is dead language, and the conspiracy against the Shia and the Sunni, they brought their conspiracy was against the Arabic language, and then they brought lots of hadiths and fabricated hadiths, and hadiths are there, but lots of in the name of Prophet Muhammad they have marketed some wrong ideology in the public, and then finally this Quran alone group is actually trying to distance us from the previous book, from the hadith, so that Quran we can become Quran alone. And Quran, when Quran itself is saying that Quran is a confirmation of previous scriptures and revelation, so it's a reminder. So these people, their whole agenda is that when you just look into their Quran, and then you will wait, they have a concept that Wahi will come to them, and whatever they have in their mind, that is revealed to them. So they think they are prophets, and they just want to distort the Quran based on this agenda. So, and I think they are the highly paid slaves at this moment, because they are touching the Quran. Whereas the Shia, Sunni, Sufi, Wahhabi, if you look into, they are on the not on the right track, but they are fighting over their school of thought. But their school of thought has they have not touched the Quran. When the Quran comes, every sectors of the Muslim are loyal to Quran, but the Quran alone group, their main intention is to destroy Quran. This is what their whole agenda is. So once the Quran is destroyed, then the syndicate is saved. So they have been highly paid slaves of the syndicate right now at this moment.
That's quite interesting. Although I do believe that there is a syndicate. I definitely agree with you. And it's they've got lots of people on the payroll. So some of the traditionalist uh, scholars may be on their pay list. Some of the current scholars, maybe some, and I'm not saying all, may also be in the pay list. And I'll actually go beyond saying maybe. Some of them are. Okay, so this is how they played the game. In order to silence the Quran, they've recruited a lot of people to play that game, influential people at that, to play the game and deceive the masses. But I also believe there are some sincere people, scholars and non-scholars, past and present, and amongst the Quran only, Quranists, etc. Just like other groups, I believe that there are sincere people and non-sincere people, just like every other group. And I believe most people are sincere but naive. So they don't think for themselves. They don't look at the text directly. They follow sometimes what appeals to them or what is used to deceive them, and I think that's mainly the case. But in this particular issue, as an example, it's the most of the, well, I haven't seen actually no any non-Quran only. So no Quran only or Quranist actually believes in the coming of the Messiah. That's alarming to me because it's very clear. That's the issue. It's very clear in the text, and it's clear in a number of places. To such an extent, I actually believe just not about the Messiah, just about his second coming. I could write a small booklet just from the Quran, no other source. Just what the Quran says about the Messiah relative to his second coming. Not about all the story of the Messiah from the Quran or just the second coming. I could write a small booklet at least on this, just from the Quran. So when somebody says the Quran only, but don't accept this, it's troubling that they fail to see any of it. It's troubling. But I don't think there's an agenda. I hope there is no agenda. There are a few people who obviously, sometimes get it right, sometimes get it wrong. But in this particular issue, I'm just surprised that most of the Quran only brothers or Quranists that they maybe didn't get it right, that the Messiah will come back according to the Quran, not the Hadith. The Hadith also argue the same thing, but even if just somebody looked at it from the Quran by itself, one will be forced to conclude. And just from that would be just like the title. It's not the full depth of it. Just the ayah that you quoted there, 157, 159. Just from that alone, they will be forced to conclude from the Quran that the Messiah has to be coming back. So obviously, I don't see how everybody failed from that side to ignore it. Sorry, to not see it. So sometimes it becomes a bit suspicious. Go ahead, brother General. I know you were itching to come up, so go ahead. Alaikum salam first of all.
Yes.
Thank you.